Hi everybody and welcome to your TorFX Weekly Market Update. I'm Nathan Bray. I'll be your host. Well, it's Newsweek. It's the first week of July 2016. So we're going to be breaking down all the major news events from an interest rate announcement on the Aussie early in the week all the way through to the US jobs report, our time, Friday night. But first of all, let's take a closer look at this deepening euro banking crisis, and of course we'll also have a look at the Federal Reserve's response to this.
Well, the focus has been on Great Britain and its impending exit from the Eurozone. Last week, the European banking crisis deepened with chaos at Europe's big banks. Italy begs for bad loan bailouts, and of course the IMF warns Germany's Deutsche Bank poses a risk to the global economy. Deutsche Bank shares have hit an over 30-year low after that Fed and IMF rebuke. And on a chart here, you can see the scary similarities between Deutsche Bank and, of course, Lehman Brothers ahead of the 2008-9 financial crisis. But across the pond, we have the Bank of America starting to buy back up to $5 billion in stock to boost its dividend. And in fact, the Fed, well, it's given the okay to 30 banks to up dividends and buy back shares, leaving many to suggest it looks like the Fed is propping up the market ahead of an upcoming election. And at worst, it starts to look like almost like a second banking bailout by Janet Yellen. Well, it's the first week of the month, so there's plenty of news coming out this week. Starting off on Monday, we've got building approvals coming out on the Aussie, and then just after the London Open, the construction PMI. Keep in mind there is a bank holiday for the 4th of July over in the US. As we move into Tuesday, we've got heaps of Australian news coming out. It's the Aussie Triple. We've got the retail sales figures coming out, still looking to be slightly improving on last month. We've got a trade balance, which is getting increasingly worse. We do have some Chinese news, but then it's all about the Aussie in the afternoon with the cash rate coming out, suspected to remain even Stevens there at 1.75%. However, we do have an RBA statement and an election which isn't decided yet here on the Aussie. So in the afternoon, we've got services PMI coming out on the pound, and Bank of England Governor Carney will be speaking. As we move into Wednesday, we have some European data out. So ECB President Draghi, he will be speaking. It'll be interesting to see if he brings up any of these European banks at that point. And in Canada, we've got the trade balance coming out. As we move into Thursday, later that evening, you'll have your ISM non-manufacturing PMI on the US, as well as an FOMC meeting minutes. Then we move into the European session, and we've got some manufacturing production out on the pound, as well as the ECB monetary policy meeting accounts. And then we'll get our first crack at the non-farm employment change with the ADP figures coming out, looking for a figure of around 150,000, and then the unemployment claims still looking to be well above that 270,000 mark. But the big news, of course, will be on Friday that the market will be looking for. And of course, you've got some Canadian employment change and their unemployment rate. And at the same time, you've got your average hourly earnings coming out, which look to be steady on the US. And of course, the big one for the week and the month, of course, is this non-farm employment change. We've had two bad employment change data over the last 2 months, and a couple of other months revised down. So if we get a third one, I think you've got to say that this isn't just a glitch in the unemployment data. This is starting to form a trend. So they're looking for a figure of around 181,000 to try and beat last month's 38,000. Of course, the unemployment rate at this stage looks like it is going to move up to 4.8%.
Well, that's all from me. I look forward to speaking to you all next week. This is Nathan Bray for TorFX.